No. Come on, where is it?
Dave, it's your Idaho Central app here. Any chance you're missing a debit card? Let's get that taken care of for you. With ICCU's card control, you can turn any card off with the tap of your finger.
You got it.
And back on again. Out. The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket.
Pow day.
Dude, let's go.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Bronco Nation News Live from BroncoNationNews.com is presented by RowPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics. All Bronco Nation news broadcasts come from the Western Collective Studios. Head down to Western Collective's locations in Garden City or downtown Boise to try some of their delicious beers, including the Horseshoe Golden Ale, the first beer to support an NIL collective. Now, here's four-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
How are we doing, Bronco Nation? Welcome on into a live edition of Bronco Nation News Live here at BroncoNationNews.com. Did I have either of you guys worried? Because you were talking to each other and I wasn't there, and then the intro started. I was half wondering if they didn't think I was going to be on the show today, or I didn't tell them that when I scheduled it. But no, we're here. And can you guys see the backstage? Can you guys even see like the other people in backstage?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, I was sitting there. Oh, okay. Damn.
Yeah, I was getting nervous. I was definitely trying to think of some kind of introduction, but we're glad you showed up there, BJ.
All heard Blue Turf talk with Chris V. Man, you did. We've all. It's a great job.
I've had to do it in the past.
That actually kind of that's funny because I didn't know you guys could. So the guests can see who's backstage. All right, that's good to know for the future. Make sure I have clothes on and stuff next time, I guess. Yeah. No,
you're sitting your lazy boy or something.
This is Bronco Nation News Live here at BroncoNationNews.com. We got our reporting, writing, analysis team here. Chris Van Sickle. We got Nathan Carroll and myself, BJ Rains. This is a Friday edition. We appreciate you guys for watching the show today, for subscribing. I'm awaiting eagerly, guys, the next update. We get it around this time on the previous day's subscribers and where we're at numbers-wise. But it's been fun to see the interest in folks in what we're doing, and you guys have been a huge part of that. So appreciate Chris and Nathan, and thought you're both filling in. It takes two people to replace Jay Tuss. So Jay, unable today. Congratulations, Jay. Everything's great with Jay and his family, and they now have another member of their family, and so 3 kids now, and so happy for Jay. And I don't know if he's announced anything, so I don't want to do anything with a name or anything or what, but we'll leave that for them. But everything texted with Jay, and everything's going good. So for today, I was like, man, now what do I do here? So I figured it was great to get both you guys in here and have a little half an hour kind of roundtable discussion on what we've seen at practice and how things are going. And you guys have both I've been at some point at every practice, and one or the other has been pretty much there with me. There hasn't been too many. There's only been maybe 1 or 2 practices where I've been there by myself. One of you guys has shown up every time and has done a great job helping out with all kinds of tidbits and analysis and observations and all that. So looking forward to getting your guys' take on fall camp and everything else going on. But I've been talking for 2 minutes, and now how you guys doing?
Doing well, BJ. You know, it's a Friday morning. We got the weekend coming, right? And we've got practice tomorrow morning. It feels like we've had such a long layoff from the last time we were able to be at a practice, with this now being the third day in a row we haven't been out there. So I'm eager to see some more football.
Yeah, usually I'm coming straight from work to practice. Tomorrow I get to kind of mosey on in and take my time. It would be nice.
Who's bringing the coffee and the donuts in tomorrow? Is that you, Chris? Or
yeah, I'm the new guy, so I'll go ahead and bring that in.
That's funny. No, we did. And you guys both have other full-time jobs, and so whenever I joke about not being there or whatever, you guys both put in way more work than you should, helping out, coming to practice and things, and you have to take care of your bosses and your families and everything else going on in your guys' lives. So anytime you're able to make it out to practice, we always appreciate it. But it's definitely, as we've said privately, not a requirement with what all you guys got going on. So I always appreciate it when you're able to make it out there. And folks are excited. The big three today, going to be a good show. Thanks, Grant, for saying that. Logan says, "Hey, Chris."
Logan,
Chase saying,
went to high school with Logan.
What's up, kids? Colin saying, "Good morning." Ashley, good morning. I always enjoy Ashley. I've never met Ashley, but she always defends me against our friend AP on Twitter. So I always enjoy. I owe Ashley, a gift card or something. But I always appreciate you for watching, Ashley. Jason says good morning. So folks are excited. Congratulations to the Tusk family. Yes, no doubt about that. We got the audacity of Gloria to withhold playoff money after we've been carrying this sorry conference for over a decade. Well, it's Keaton. I didn't really find that to be that big of a deal, because that's how it works. Like whenever you're there, whenever you leave, the conferences just keep the money you're supposed to get as part of the payoff that you owe them. So that's pretty standard. So I don't know. And it's nothing against, Keaton, because I've seen a lot of people with that sentiment, guys. There's a new version of the lawsuit came out yesterday, and we saw that report that and one of the things said they're withholding the playoff money. But that's, if you're leaving a conference and you owe them $10 million, well, they just keep $10 million that you're supposed to get or whatever, if it's less than that. So I didn't see that as that big of a deal.
If you don't understand that, then you probably haven't dealt with the IRS, is all I'll say, because they love that withholding term.
Yeah, I don't see it as a big deal. The Boise State's not going to pay their buyout penalties until all the litigation's done. Mountain West isn't going to pay out Boise State and the other Pac-12 members until litigation's done. So it's kind of like an old Mexican standoff, just staring there looking at each other. And then once litigation's all finalized, that's when we'll actually start to see things happen.
This is Bronco Nation News live here at BroncoNationNews.com. As I said, you can go subscribe $5 a month, BroncoNationNews.com, and read Chris, read Nathan, read myself. We have video up from the press conference yesterday. We're going to play a couple clips on today's show, guys. I cut up some clips of Spencer Danielson talking at the scrimmage after the scrimmage yesterday. And we can kind of a few of the more notable things, and I want to kind of get your guys' opinions on that. Nathan, you were there yesterday at the scrimmage. I asked Coach Danielson a question there, so it was good to have you there. And I know, by the way, tomorrow's Saturday. If you guys don't want to come to a Saturday practice, you got other stuff to do. You do not have to come to a Saturday practice. I'll talk to you about that offline. But if you guys want to come, you're more than happy to come. But tomorrow is it is a weird that it's a Saturday morning practice, and as you said, Nathan, nothing the last couple of days. But tomorrow will be good to get back out there. I believe they're off today after the scrimmage yesterday, so no, we're not missing anything today. Just no practice. But yeah, we talked to Spencer Danielson afterwards. That is up on our message boards. Every time there is an open practice, Chris, Nathan, myself go in there and give our take on what we saw at practice, some players that stood out and things like that. And that is in the VIP board for paying subscribers. And we still have that 50% off deal. I don't know if folks have noticed, it started at 75, then it went to 60. Now it's 50. It's going to continue to go down. And I have no control over that. I don't get to pick the discount. That's the higher ups and corporate and all that. And so I don't know when it's ending, but if you're on the fence about subscribing for BNN, I would do it now, because I'm guessing it's going to 40 probably next, or 30. I have no idea. So $5 a month right now, BroncoNationNews.com. And the scrimmage yesterday, Spencer Danielson, guys, let's get into it. We talked to him afterwards. I'll play in a minute here, just kind of his opening thoughts on the scrimmage. But it's always nice when we go out there, guys, and make our notes, and we have a couple players that we think have been standout players in camp. And then on his own, the head coach kind of mentions a couple of those guys. That's always nice to see your my untrained football eye pay off a little bit with Spencer Danielson. We had some updates on QB2 yesterday. We're going to hear that clip. Breezy Dubar injury update. I thought it was notable that Sire Gaines was out there and participated in the scrimmage. I thought that was good. I do have the opening statement queued up, but Nathan, you were there yesterday. Any just general takeaways before we dive into some of this?
To me, the biggest takeaway that was really encouraging was Chris Marshall. Whenever he had talked about Chris Marshall, Spencer, that is, he had always says it's about consistency, building consistency. And what does he say yesterday? He says he's starting to show that consistency, right? So clearly there was one thing the coaching staff was looking for from him. He's fulfilling it now. I think now that Spencer has addressed that and sort of given praise to that one point of concern that he had, I think it's okay for Bronco Nation to start to get really excited about what Chris Marshall could be. That was probably the biggest standout thing to me in terms of week 1 at USF. How does that change my expectations of this team?
Chris, I have the opening statement here from Spencer. I don't know if you have any thoughts. I'm sure you watched it, or I can just play it. But Spencer Danielson yesterday, and I know, like I said, you've been there for most of these interviews and most of the practices yourself. Scrimmage 1, kind of a nice spot to kind of see where everybody's at and reset. And he did say, "Hey, we're going to make some seating chart changes based off this first scrimmage here." So obviously, it was a big one yesterday.
Yeah, I was excited to hear 2 names that he dropped. 2 names that, when I went to practice on Wednesday, I thought they both had a good practice, and it's nice to hear that it kind of transitioned over to the scrimmage. That would be Sherrod Smith and Derek Ganter. Sherrod really had a great practice the last one I was there. Shut down Latrell Caples on one particular play that really stood out to me. And then Derek Ganter, the Eastern Washington transfer, freshman All-American last season, really feel like he's gaining a role. He's one of those guys that when they reshuffle the seating chart, he might get moved up a little bit.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Spencer Danielson, I'm starting with he went on no problem with him quoting the Bible verse at the beginning of the press conference, and then he started talking about planting seeds and apple seeds and corn and all this stuff. I skipped past that and got to the part about the scrimmage here. But a lot of players, and some of these were guys that just have good camps, not necessarily the scrimmage. It was kind of his first time to talk to us since camp started. But 20-plus players, I think he named individually. There were some notable ones, what he said about Braxton Feely. You mentioned the Chris Marshall one there, Nathan. Let's hear briefly from Spencer Danielson starting things off after the scrimmage.
The scrimmage number 1 today. Let's start offensively. Really proud of the camp Maddox has had so far. And he should, right? I tell our guys, our best players need to be our best players all the time. Heavy is the crown. That's Maddox Matson. He's had a really good fall camp. Really excited for who he's going to be for us this season. Chris Marshall has had an outstanding camp for us to date, right? His consistency has risen. How he responds to adversity has grown. Once again, still have to continue to grow and take steps, but through 9 practices, really proud of where Chris is at. Latrell Caples has had a big-time camp for us. As a senior receiver for us, he should. And I'm proud of the plays that he's made. Our offensive line, been able to rotate a lot of different guys. Guys get banged up in camp, and we've been able to rotate and play a lot of guys. They're continuing to step up. Tight end group's doing a good job. The stable, our running backs, Malik, Sire Gaines, Dylan Riley, those 3 in particular had really good days today in the scrimmage. Proud of all 3 of those running backs. Defensively, man, been really cool to see some new guys, some guys that maybe even haven't played a ton, continue to step up. Derek Ganter had a really good scrimmage day for us at safety. Our front, Braxton Feely, our D tackle, is having one of the better camps we've had from a D lineman in a while. I mean, I'm really proud of where he's going. Marco Notarini, our captain, leading in everything he does on the field, off the field, been very productive this fall camp. Our secondary is playing at a high level, as they should and need to, right? I mean, it's a veteran back end. They should. Mara McCoy, Jeremiah Irby, Ty Benefield, Zion Washington. They're playing well. They need to. There were some things that our offense, some plays they made some plays. The receivers and secondary are going back and forth. They should. Ty Benefield's had a really good camp so far. Their corners are playing at a high level. Franklin Johnson and Sherrod Smith really putting some good stuff on film right now. Really putting some good stuff on film as that, who's going to be our 3rd corner right now in that rotation. Really excited to see those guys. Dimitri Freeney also doing some really good stuff on special teams and on defense. So really cool to see how things are shaking out. There's a true freshman, Bobo, making plays out there. As a true freshman in our fronts, as an edge player, that's hard to do and really excited to see kind of where he's growing to. So some really good things on film. Oh, the last one I want to mention is Bowen Phelps. Has done a really good job this fall camp playing linebacker, moved from safety to linebacker in the spring, and is playing really fast right now. So excited to see where it's all going special teams wise. Competition's high for our specialists. Mason Hutton, I really believe he's one of the best long snappers in the nation, playing at a high level. Oscar, our punter who's coming in, has had a really good fall camp, and competition's really high to see who's going to be our field goal kicker and who's going to kick off for us. So excited where we're at. Once again, like I started this press conference, what we are sowing, we are going to reap. We better make sure we're sowing the right seeds as a team, and we'll reap the harvest we want.
I think somebody needs to ask the safeties coach about Franklin Johnson Jr. because he once again gets mentioned. A heck of a camp for him, and I don't think either of you guys were there. You might have been. I forget which day it was. It was the afternoon practice a couple of days ago. You might have been. One of you was. Were you there, Chris?
I was there. Yeah.
Yeah, and there was a spot in the corner of the. I guess I can't get too specific on this, but there was an interception by Freeney and an interception by Franklin Johnson within about a 5-minute span. It was when Brad Bedell was over there and we were over in the corner talking. And I thought both those guys had very impressive days. And he meant, Spencer Danielson mentioned both of those guys. Side note, he mentioned the kicker battle there. I'm not sure what your guys' thoughts are on that. But I mean, we were told by the special teams coach, Stacy Collins, that, one of the kickers, Boomer, was getting shut down for a couple of days. So it sounds like it's, they've got a freshman, right, that's in there now competing. And so I don't know how deep this competition is going. I think we all expected it to be Boomer. I don't know if that's going to end up being the case, but the kicker battle is one worth watching for sure. That third corner battle we mentioned with Franklin Johnson Jr. being in the mix there was nice to hear. Feely's doing nice. And I know you asked later, Nathan, about the other inside guys on the defensive line as well. But any other names that he just mentioned there, Nathan, stand out to you or anything else?
Of the names you just mentioned, I think him highlighting Franklin Johnson and Sherrod Smith in particular at that cornerback 3 battle, it's affirmed a little bit of what we've written about already, that those two guys were standing out. But again, one of those things where it's good to hear the coach kind of confirm what your eyes are seeing. And I think in some ways it's notable what he didn't say, what he didn't talk about. He didn't talk about the offensive line at all in that opening statement. And later on, got a question about the offensive line and admitted there's some injuries and they're shuffling guys in that room. We saw last year some major injuries on the offensive line with Randolph and Carrion going down. Hall Schmidt missed time throughout the season. And I'm starting to worry again, is this offensive line, is the health of that starting 5 going to be an issue? And are they going to need to go 8, 9, 10 deep once again this year?
Yeah, and he did say that it was they're banged up. Let's not go too far with the injured on the offensive line. We'll find out what that means. But some guys are banged up, and maybe tomorrow's one of those days, guys, where we go, shoot the video of the offensive line, and then guys can see who's not out there and make those determinations for their own. And I know it's a little different now what we can say about guys participating during open periods of practice. So tomorrow I think will be the first day. Maybe we can comment on some of that, but certainly the 5, and I mean, this was even Hall Schmidt, still working his way back. So I mean, even the 5 they expected to maybe have to start the season, they haven't had out there yet. I think that's fair and okay to say, just because we even knew that Hall Schmidt wasn't going to be out there, and like he said, some other guys maybe getting banged up. So we'll see there. There was a couple other things, and I got a couple other bites here I can play. But Chris, I mean, he went down a lot of different guys there, and I thought that the one thing he didn't touch on there was backup quarterback. So I do have a backup quarterback quote here, but you mentioned injuries. Let's just stick with the injuries for a second. Here is Spencer Danielson on Breezy Dubar. A lot of folks been asking us about Breezy. Where's he at? How's he looking? I haven't seen him in any of the videos. And that's the one nice thing about these scrimmages. And I would say a nice thing about Coach Danielson too. Previous coaches sometimes would, still didn't love talking injuries and some of this stuff, but I think Spencer is a little more open about some of that. We see it in practice. We're not sure what we're allowed to ask and say, but he did address Breezy Dubar, his injury situation after the scrimmage.
He should be back next week. Yeah, he should be back. It was a soft tissue injury, so he should be back sometime next week. He was doing individual drills to start the scrimmage, so he should be back this week. That's why today, Malik, Sai, they took the majority. They took all the 1 reps, and Dylan Riley's doing a really good job this fall camp. So those 3 got, I don't know the reps off the top of my head, but we had a good amount of reps today, and they really got a ton.
So a couple things there, Chris. Start with you. Just first of all, the fact that Sire Gaines participated in the scrimmage and took 1 reps, I think is a very good sign. And folks can, assuming things progress, feel pretty good about him being ready to go for the season opener now and maybe take a sigh of relief. But also Breezy Dubar starting to maybe do some individual stuff, and he might be getting a little bit closer also. That's good news.
Yeah, it was exciting to hear that Sire was essentially, sounds like, full go in the scrimmage. Excited to get him back out there. And Malik Sherrod, a guy who stood out in spring, hasn't slowed down at all, and I think is going to make a big impact on special teams, them getting those reps. And then, Breezy, you hope for the best with him. Excited to see him back, or hopefully to see him back in individual drills next week, because he can make a big impact. But you do also love to hear Dylan Riley. He's having a good camp as well.
And Nathan, I followed up, or at some point I said, so Gaines did participate in the scrimmage, and he's like, oh yeah, and full go. And so for him to get a lot of reps out there, I know there are a lot of skeptical people about Sire Gaines, but again, he's going to be in that Chris Marshall kind of, a lot of these guys just stacking day after day after day, and we'll believe it, when we see him warming up before South Florida, and then when he gets through that game and moves on to the next one. But definitely good news on Sire Gaines.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think not only the fact that he was out there with the ones in full go, he even highlighted the fact that both Sherrod and Gaines had some big runs and had a big impact on the scrimmage yesterday. So, I really think week 1, those 2 guys should be full go. And I think that's going to be the workhorse right there. Is you're going to see a lot of Sire, you're going to see a lot of Malik Sherrod, and then who that third running back is that maybe gets, 50, 60 carries throughout the year. I mean, Breezy hasn't been out there, as Spencer alluded to there, and Dylan Riley has. And so if you're at home trying to figure out, which RB3 jersey am I going to go get, at this point, it seems like Dylan Riley's got a step ahead just because he's been out there and as talented as Breezy's been. And look, I've been a big believer in Breezy Dubar's talent. I thought his freshman year, there was some really, really encouraging stuff. Former 4-star and looked like would be one of the next big-time Boise State backs. It's 3rd fall camp in a row that there's been some sort of injury that limited him going into the season or an injury during the season. So it's unfortunate for Breezy, and hopefully he gets back out there, gets out there full go. But, he was very intentional about those 3 guys, right? When he's highlighting that it's those 3, I think there's probably a little bit of a messaging in there that, he'd like it to be 4, but Breezy just hasn't been out there.
And a couple of days ago, I was talking to Prater, and I said, "Hey, right now, if there were, Circo is setting odds, I had Malik Sherrod maybe as the betting favorite, not who I would have picked, but I had Malik Sherrod probably as the betting favorite to get the first carry of the season a couple of days ago, and I would say right now, I mean, certainly Sire Gaines, if he's not the favorite again, he's right back there even. But I think if you're, for all the talk about Sire Gaines and having a huge year and being this guy, I think people in that camp probably feel much better about that after hearing Spencer yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think at this point, it seems like are trending up for Sire. And we talked about it last week. There's a good chance that whatever soft tissue thing Sire Gaines had going on, it was minor, and they were holding him out just out of precaution. And it seems like after the scrimmage yesterday that he's full go, that there's no worries at this point. So again, I think a sigh of relief for Bronco Nation is fair at this point with Sire Gaines.
All right, I want to talk backup quarterback, but also some true freshmen. I know, Chris, that's a big area for you, talking to a lot of these guys as recruits and then following them, and you had your 5 freshmen that can make an impact list, and I think to this point, you're looking pretty good with that list, actually. So we'll talk about that in just a second here, but our title sponsor is rowpaint.com. If you like what you're seeing from Chris, from Nathan, from myself, it's possible because of our title sponsor, Andy Rowe and rowpaint.com, ROEpaint.com, Andy Rowe and Company. Andy Rowe, and they do a tremendous job at row painting. So rowpaint.com, the best in the business. Check them out at rowpaint.com. Taco Bell, we'll get out there next week, hopefully, and get a broadcast there at Taco Bell. TacoBellWorks.com is their website. You can get more information on what they're doing, the SM Management Group, the Nicolason family. Taco Bell, TacoBellWorks.com. Hey, Snake River Pool and Spa, Patio and Game, thespateam.com. Locations in Twin Falls, Boise, Meridian, Nampa. They've been around since 1978. Part of the Boise State home team. Get more information at thespateam.com. The Blue and Orange Store online, theblueandorange.store.com. They got those jerseys. Tuesday, we'll be doing a show at the Hall of Fame with Travis Hawks and some folks. So looking forward to Tuesday, the Blue and Orange Store broadcast there at their new location at the Hall of Fame. The Blue and Orange Store online, theblueandorange.store.com. And Lithia, Florida, Boise, their fall kickoff sales underway. When we talk NIL, there's not a better supporter of Boise State athletics and NIL than Jim Sturk and company over at Lithia Florida Boise. So pre-owned vehicle, new vehicle, they got you covered. The fall kickoff sale. Check them out, lithiafordboise.com. All right, Chris, I know we only got you for about 5 more minutes here. I got Nathan for a couple extra minutes after that. So, Chris, I'll go to you first. I have this soundbite here. I'm trying to decide if it's worth playing or not just because you're limited on time. But true freshmen, newcomers that have stood out to you so far in camp. Where are you going?
Yeah, and you're not going to play that part, but of the 5 names that I kind of said could make an impact, 4 of them got mentioned in yesterday's press conference. I definitely did notice that. Bol is making a bigger impact than
Patting yourself on the back there, Chris. Be easy on it.
Bol making a bigger impact than maybe even I expected. I had him as my number 5 guy. Almost didn't have him there. Glad I did. But Bol making an impact. He gets mentioned pretty much every Spencer Danielson press conference. So I think that edge position. And then another guy I was excited to hear mentioned was Sincere Brackett. He might make a bigger impact just on special teams. He has that athleticism there to make that impact. But I thought he looked pretty good, especially in some tackling drills on that day where they were full tackle. He's a big boy. And then, I mean, we've talked about him a lot. And to me, he's the breakout player in camp. But Quentin Brown, Spencer mentioned he had a couple big catches. That hype train is not going to be slowing down anytime soon, I don't think.
Let's go ahead and hear the bite. Here's Spencer Danielson talking about the true freshman. And he does start with Quentin Brown.
Quentin Brown had a couple big-time catches today. Really excited where he's growing to. Cam Jones had a big catch on the sideline, too. Excited to see where he's going. I think Cash Williams has done some really – or we call him Cash – Cumonte Williams. He's doing a good job out there. Like I said, Bol, a true freshman, I mean, he is growing a lot. I mean, I'm really excited where his development's going to. Sincere Brackett as a true freshman linebacker, flies around, physical. He's going to be on special teams this year and do some good things. Trying to think any other guys that really have note today from a true freshman. They're all growing a good. I really like the high school class we brought in this year. Really like them. Obviously, that doesn't mean that they're all going to play this year, but really like the ceiling they have because of how they're wired. I think they're a high character group that have also a high floor because they have high talent. So, but those are the ones I think that come to mind the most, Beach.
I mean, we want to talk about Quentin Brown, but Nathan, I'll back what he said about Bol. I mean, he was a guy that I think when Chris even put his name on the list, it was like, oh, he's got to gain some weight. Oh, it's really hard for true freshmen. We'll see if he's ready to contribute. But I mean, if we're making predictions now based on, I think we've heard enough through 9 practices that, I mean, Bol's going to be out there against South Florida and getting decent playing time, it sounds like.
Yeah, absolutely think so. And, when we had talked about when he was talking about Bol in spring, I was always quick to say he's small. I think he was listed at 223 in spring practices. I'm like, that's just too small for a Mountain West defensive end. If you look, they updated heights and weights last week on Boise State's roster. He's listed at 240 now. So he's already getting his weight up. And what's funny? You go out there and watch him, and it looks like he's got another 20, 30 pounds to add, right? He's got a great frame, but he still looks lanky. I know we're not supposed to pick favorites, but he's an Alberta boy, so I'm already rooting for Bol anytime we can get one of these guys from Alberta down here. But he's had a good camp, and look, I don't think he's going to start, right? I think Max Steege and Jane Virgin Morgan are kind of clearly the 2 guys who are projected to start at this point. But I think Bol and Sterling Lane battling for rotation time. I could absolutely see him get 100, 150 snaps this year, which doesn't sound like a lot, but 10 snaps a game is significant, and that has a large impact on your team. You need good quality depth at that defensive end spot. And so far, yeah, he's put together a good camp. He's already adding weight. I think we're at a point with Bol that with how much he's talked about, with the weight he's added, it's totally justifiable to say, yeah, week 1, he's going to get some playing time.
And Chris, before we let you go, we'll transition this conversation to backup quarterbacks, and just your take, Chris. The backup quarterback battle. You've been out there watching these guys throw. I know there's a lot of specific stuff we can't get into, but just watching both these guys throw. Your take on that battle for the number 2 quarterback, and if that changed based on any comments from Spencer Danielson yesterday, which we're going to play here in a minute.
Yeah, I do think it changed. From what I've seen, they've both Caleb and Max Cutforth have had kind of an up and down camp. Each have good days and they have a bad day. I'll say for Max Cutforth, I think he's got maybe the stronger arm of the 2. It's hard to say. That's just what my eyes are telling me. I like Max Cutforth there. He's got a little bit more experience. Did actually see a play or two last season. But I like what I'm seeing from Max Cutforth. The kid can spin it, and is playing with a lot of confidence right now.
Anything else, Chris, before we let you go? Does any final takeaways from the first 2 weeks of camp? And obviously, we'll be out there tomorrow, getting ready to kind of turn the page and get ready for scrimmage 2 next week.
I think the last thing I would say to the fans watching is be ready for a different looking offense this season. I think the transition to Nate Potter is going to be a good one for this team and this program. I'm excited from what I've seen. I think they're going to get the ball into the hands of their weapons better and more frequently than maybe what we saw from Dirk Cutter last season.
Oh, I like it. A little tease there on the offense. Chris, appreciate you, man. You're doing great work. Keep it up, and we'll see you at practice tomorrow, man.
Thanks, guys.
There he is, Chris Van Sickle. Appreciate him for joining us here on Bronco Nation News. And Nathan, I have the bite here on the backup quarterback, so let's go ahead and play this bite first, then I'll get your take on this. Again, you were there with me yesterday at the press conference talking to Spencer Danielson, and I asked the question, kind of, do you have a leader right now for QB2? And this was his response.
To scrimmage number 1 today.
That's the wrong one. I might have screwed up on the bite here, unless I clicked the wrong one. Let's see if I QB2. Let's try this again. All right, QB2.
Right now, Max Cutforth played really well today. He played really good. Caleb Burnett's doing a good job in fall camp. I would say today Max played really well, but we're going to continue to compete for the QB2 spot all the way through fall camp. Max Cutforth, like I said, I think he's having a really good fall camp so far. Caleb Burnett's doing some good things. Like I said, I think today Max Cutforth outplayed Caleb. We got to go back and look at the film, but those are the couple of the main ones that come to mind.
So the first part was, asked about QB2, so they're going to keep battling. And you kind of said, hey, Max Cutforth played really well today. And then somebody asked about the local kids, and that was when he said at the end there that I spliced it back in. Yeah, Max Cutforth outplayed Caleb tonight, which you don't hear that a lot of times, a coach being willing to come out and say that. So that right away was like, wow. And, not saying he's QB2 yet, but certainly his odds probably went up for me based on hearing that answer.
Yeah, definitely. And I think one thing that stood out about Cutforth is how we've seen progression from him just from the start of fall camp. I had joked with you guys that after the first day of fall camp, if we had a biggest loser article, it might have been Max Cutforth. I mean, day one was just spraying balls, did not look accurate, did not look confident. And since then, he's really progressed. The accuracy's gotten a lot better. After the first week, I was saying my biggest issue with Max Cutforth, he takes a lot of checkdowns. I'd like to see him start to push the ball down the field, take some more chances. And then all of a sudden this week, we start watching Max Cutforth. He's pushing the ball down the field. He's finding tight windows. If you had asked me a week ago, I would have said that I think Caleb Burnett's probably more likely the guy because I thought he had the better first week of camp. After the second week of camp, from what we've seen, I think Max Cutforth has a pretty significant lead. I think he's starting to play really well. And the thing that stands out with me about Cutforth is he doesn't turn the ball over in practice. And now that he's starting to push the ball down the field while still taking care of the football, that's what you're looking for in a backup quarterback. Someone who can keep the offense moving, take care of the football. And I think he's done a good job of that so far in camp.
No doubt about it. So we'll see. Backup quarterback situation is certainly one that we'll be following. And I know most people typically don't really care much about the backup quarterback. I get it. But in this situation, typically you just have a backup that has a little more experience, Chris, or Nathan. And just, you usually in the last couple of years, look at it. They've had, Taylon Green or Malachi Nelson waiting in the wings or vice versa, or a Maddox Madsen waiting to come in. And so you felt pretty good about whoever it was, one or two. Now, I mean, you knock on wood, but you're one play away from putting your college football playoff hopes on the line with a guy that has, either never played or was a walk-on or has a couple snaps, or I mean, there's just not much there. So I do think that backup to quarterback battle and how they progress is a storyline worth following this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And you look through recent history of Boise State football, whether it was Jalen Henderson, you alluded to Taylon Green, and even Maddox Madsen, as a backup at one point, who have all come in and won football games. Chase Cord, Jack Sears, a couple other guys, right? Boise State has a history of having backups who can step in and win you a football game. And for the first time in a while, there's not a backup that you're excited about on this roster, right? No one came into fall camp going, man, Max Cutforth, he's going to be a guy for Boise State in 2 years, right? But the progression we've seen through fall camp, I think I feel a little bit better about the backup quarterback room than I did 2 weeks ago, but I still think it's a fairly significant concern. If Maddox Madsen misses a game or two, can that guy, whoever it ends up being, win a football game? And at this point, I don't think we know.
Kip Booten says, what I'm hearing, Zach Hill's grinding with all the QBs. And that is something that, I think we're going to talk to him next week, coming up. But yeah, I think Zach Hill's doing is a big part of what the quarterback progression is, and having him just focus on those 4 or 5 guys, I think is a big deal with what he's been able to do. Speaking of Kip, he told me he's going to be joining us, Nathan, or joining you at the watch party. Looking forward to that coming up for the South Florida game. Well, pretty much every road game, but we're kicking it off right now. The South Florida game, 3:30. Take a half day of work. Come out to Uncle Bob's. If you've never been there, the pizza's amazing. They got cold beer. They're going to have some food, some drink specials. It's I would say more of a family-friendly sports bar atmosphere than like just a typical, sports bar. A lot of teams come there after games and practices and have pizza, but they've got all the sports decor on the wall, all the team flags. It's a sports bar that serves pizza, and it's going to be a tremendous spot. And we're going to be teaming with them for the road games. And I know Nathan, you and Chris and Michael Callahan will be out there game 1, passing out koozies and giving buying. I'm going to give this may be dangerous, but I think I might give Nathan the BNN credit card there to take care of paying subscribers if you want to buy him a beer or something that first night. We're going to make it worth it to folks that want to come out. I know Uncle Bob's is going to be raffling off some closest to the score gift cards and things like that after the game, Nathan. And then the cool part that we're going to I'm really looking forward to is Nathan and Chris and Mike Callahan will kick off the post-game show right after the game ends. They'll fire up the post-game show and be live right there from Uncle Bob's, sipping on a beer, having a slice of pizza, and talking about the game with all of you guys. And so you guys will do the first hour or so, and then I'll jump on from South Florida and take over from there and play some interviews and things. But getting out and amongst the people and meeting folks and having a good time and watching the game, Nathan, I know you guys are looking forward to it.
Yeah, it should be a really good time. I even saw a comment in the feed here earlier that said that, we need to do a BNN subscriber event so that we can all get to know each other. Well, here you go. Here's your chance. Come out to Uncle Bob's. The pizza's really good. I've had it quite a few times. It's good pizza. It's going to be a great atmosphere. And, for these road games, it's like you can sit at home and, watch it in your living room by yourself, or come out and watch the game with some other members of Bronco Nation. I think it's a no-brainer. Get some pizza, have a brew. It's going to be a really good time. Really looking forward to it.
And I really do hope we're going to have a 4th mic set up after on the post-game show. I really hope you guys can get some fan reaction. Maybe if folks are still there, what was we always want the YouTube comments and stuff. But if you want to come be part of the show, I mean, the guys will throw you on there from Uncle Bob's, and we have our famous golly guy that may have had 1 or 2 too many beverages, back in the day with Coach Ridd and myself. But if you got a comment or you want to, give a thought on the game, we'll pass the mic around Uncle Bob's there and get some folks comments on the game. And then you and Chris and Mike will have your kind of, initial thoughts right there watching the game amongst all the fans. And like I said, we're going to have some giveaways and pass out some stuff, and there'll be some food and drink specials as well. And so really, really looking forward to that. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you've never made it out to Uncle Bob's Pizza in Meridian, great spot. Looking forward to it. Jason says, love Uncle Bob's. Robbie says, I get off at 3, so you don't have to tell me twice. There we go. Looking forward to seeing you out there. It's Keaton says, give AP the mic and let him cook. We'll have to see that. That may be better for like the Nevada game when it's 1:00 in the morning when the show starts or something. Not 6:30 there when folks are still hanging out. We'll have to see. But Texas Bronco says he's always valued the opinions of casual fans versus those of the NFL OC or head coach. Post-game show anyway. So looking forward to it. That's going to be a lot of fun. I know you are short on time, Nathan, but I'm going to play the bite after I let you go. But Chris Marshall, give us a final thought on Chris Marshall, what you heard from Spencer. And yet again, Chris Marshall continues to come up, continues to produce. And here we are 2 weeks in, and he still is right there practicing every day and making plays.
Yeah, Chris Marshall, quietly one of the most important players for this team. I've talked about this on the boards, which if you're not on the boards on 247, go get in the boards. We've got a lot of really good information in there. But some positions in football are kind of about your weakest link, right? In the secondary, you could have 3 Hall of Famers, but if I'm playing corner out there, they're going to throw the ball at me 50 times, and I'm going to give up 49 catches, right? wide receiver is not about your weakest link. It's about who's your best option, because if you have a Justin Jefferson, a true number one, that's what shifts defenses and how they have to cover you. I don't think Boise State has that number one right now. I think Latrell Caples is solid. I don't think he's an alpha dog. Defenses have to change the way they cover him. Same with Matt Lauder. I think he's really good. I don't think defenses are going to game plan around Matt Lauder. If Chris Marshall hits, I mean, this is a Julio Jones type player, within the context of being Boise State football. He's a guy who could lead the team in yards, lead the team in touchdowns. And the fact that he just continues to stack positive days, and not just like, oh, that's a good day by Chris Marshall, but wow, that was another dominant day by Chris Marshall. I mean, I'd say for most of camp, he's looked like the best receiver out there. If Boise State can get that version of Chris Marshall, I think that absolutely elevates the ceiling of what this offense could be. I think it's going to change how defenses have to cover Boise State and play the run game. He's quietly become, with how good he's looked, one of Boise State's most important players through fall camp to me.
Hey, Kevin says Uncle Bob's right down the road for me. I will be there to support the team. So we're going to have, I want to get there early. We're going to have a packed house, it looks like. Looking forward to this. It's 3 weeks from yesterday. Can't wait for Uncle Bob's. We'll be telling you more about it and some of the specific drink specials and things as we get closer. But Nathan, we're going to hear from Spencer, but I'm going to let you roll. I know you got stuff to do with your full-time job here, but appreciate you jumping on with Chris, and we'll see you at practice tomorrow, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, BJ. Appreciate having me on.
There is Nathan Carroll. By the way, Mike Prater has a column that's going to be going up after the show as well. Mike Prater has a column on Sire Gaines, on Malik Sherrod, their relationship, how big the two of those guys could be for this team. That's coming up after the show. But, hey, I do want to hear from Spencer Danielson talking about Chris Marshall. Last night, we had the Raiders, the Seahawks. We had, Ashton Genty, George Halani. We can touch on that as well. And we'll do that in just a second. I do want to thank Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. Number one ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley is Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. We bought and sold our home for Matt and his team. They did a tremendous job every step of the way. Just the process was so easy and great. So if you're looking to buy or sell a home, look no further than Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. Hey, Ridley's Family Markets, shopridleys.com. 13 locations around the state of Idaho. They've got some locations in surrounding states as well. Ridley's Family Markets, download that Skip app. Get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line. Hey, transportation compliance service. If you're looking for a job, transcomservice.com has you covered. They can help you get into the trucking industry. It's a local company helping out folks all over the world. DOT, overweight, all the permits and things you need. Check them out online, transcomservice.com. Hey, speakpipe.com/BNN. You need to leave us a voicemail. We'd love to hear from you. We'll play it on an upcoming broadcast. Definitely want to hear some on the postgame show, pregame show, postgame show. We want your score predictions, your pregame thoughts, your postgame comments as you're leaving Uncle Bob's Pizza. We want to hear from you on the Signature Roofing voice inbox line. Just leave us a voicemail, speakpipe.com/BNN. Brought to you by Signature Roofing, covering our community for more than 2 decades. Whether it's a re-roof, a repair, an estimate, or an inspection, you can check out Signature Roofing online at mysignatureroofing.com. We are 2 weeks away right now. 2 weeks from right now, we'll be broadcasting, Brad Bedell and I, from Circa Resort and Casino down in Las Vegas. We're heading down for their ultimate contest weekend. We are signing folks up to get in the football contest, the million contest, the survivor contest. We can sign you up if you want to, make contact with us. We'll take down your money and sign you up. It is 100% legal to play anywhere in the world as long as you sign up in Nevada. So we can sign you up. You can play using a proxy, Tom Carroll. We can get you set up, connected. But if you're able to join us in 2 weeks, last minute trip to Vegas, we'd love to have you. You get half off your room at Circa. You get an open bar, pool party with the owner, Derek Stevens. There's some other great events, a blackjack tournament, all kinds of stuff for signing up for the contest. It is $1,000 entry fee, but you can get some friends together, split the payout. It's not that bad. I did that last year with a couple friends. We each put in, $300 or whatever it was, and it was a lot of fun. So you can win $15 million in Survivor, $6 million guaranteed money in the millions. And Circa Sports, circasports.com. You can get more information, but reach out to me. Love Circa, love this contest, and looking forward to getting down to Vegas in 2 weeks. So if you'd like me to help get you connected and signed up, we can certainly do that. And I do want to give ICCU a shout out as well. They're working on some new graphics for us, but they've signed some new NIL deals with Cage Casey, with Maddox Madsen, Pearson Carmichael from the basketball team. They got 7, I believe, NIL student athletes they've signed at ICCU. We'll be telling you more about them moving forward here. But Idaho Central Credit Union, they're now back as an official sponsor with Boise State through Learfield. So you're going to be seeing the ICCU logo all around the stadium and things again moving forward. So love ICCU, appreciate their support. Happy that we switched our bank and all of our business and personal accounts to ICCU when they came on as a sponsor a couple years ago, and highly recommend anybody out there on the fence about it, make the switch to ICCU, and you will certainly not be disappointed in that. All right, we're going to keep the show going here, but Chris Marshall getting a lot of talk, and rightfully so. I asked Spencer Danielson after the scrimmage yesterday. I said, okay, we're now through scrimmage 1. He's still making plays. He had apparently a big play yesterday when they were backed up in the end zone, near the end zone in a backed up situation. He had a big long play to help him with a 98-yard touchdown drive in the scrimmage yesterday. Yeah, the number one offense sounds like had a 98-yard touchdown drive. They were backed up at their own 2. And a big play of that during that drive was getting them out of the backed up situation was Chris Marshall with a big play. So he keeps making plays. And here we are a third of the way through camp, and we're less than 3 weeks from the first game. And he's been out there for every practice, and he's been participating and making plays. Like, are we at the time now where Chris Marshall, like, we don't have to worry anymore? This is who he is. I asked Spencer Danielson that question after the scrimmage yesterday. Where are we with Chris Marshall? And at what point do we not have to, I don't know if worry is the right word, but, question whether or not this is real?
Good question. I think in general, that's almost where I'm at with our team right now, right? I think in general, it's all about what you put on film, the consistency you do. So just like anything with Chris, it isn't like, well, he had a really, really, really good summer training, which has continually kicked him to have a really good fall camp. He's just got to stay at it. No different than really any other player on our team. Now, when guys are here for a longer amount of time, you can point to some more consistency, right? Marco Notarini, you really know what you're going to get from Marco, right? He's been here. He's gone through it. You know what you're going to expect. With Chris, I mean, we're 9 days in. He's continually to stack days. Is he perfect? No. Is any player on our team going to be perfect? No. Is Chris going to have a bad player practice? He is. So is everybody else. So I'm really excited where he's going to right now, BJ. And even with Chris, I'm living in that moment with him. I talked to him walking off the field, like, just keep stacking days. Keep stacking days. And seeing him respond, even today, something maybe doesn't go our way, his response is improved. I mean, the sky's the limit for that young man. And love being around him. I love him being a part of our team. He's just got to continue to stack days. No different. He plays great game 1. He's got to be consistent that week in practice to play really good week 2. And that is collectively our team. I mean, Chris is one that gets talked about because of who he is as a talent. But there's a lot of guys in our team that are in that exact same boat. We've got new players on our team that I told them today on our team meeting, I want you to cut it loose, and I want to know who can perform. I want to know who I can trust. I want to know who gets banged up in fall camp and can't push through to keep going, right? Those are things you learn about your roster in fall camp.
Well, again, good sign. We'll see. He obviously has to stick with it, but Chris Marshall, great sign to see him doing that so far. Uncle Bob's will be lit. Yes, it will. Rain's boys saying love Uncle Bob's. Most of the games, my family will be there hanging out with Chris and Nathan and everybody, but they're actually going to we pick one game a year, and so the boys are coming down to the South Florida game to kick off the season. It's Labor Day weekend. We're going to stay a couple extra days on the beach, but normally you'll get to meet my wife and my kids. They'll be there watching the game, and we'll have Chris and Nathan maybe bringing their families. Michael Callahan's going to be there for game 1. I believe Winston Venable, we're getting him locked in for the Air Force game, maybe week 2. So really looking forward to that. And I know it's still 3 weeks away, but just everybody's starting to make plans already for that first game. So want to remind folks about Uncle Bob's, and they got some other great specials as well. Kids eat free on Mondays. They got the half off alcohol on Thursdays, the buy one, get one pizza on Tuesday. I mean, it's tremendous pizza too. It's part of the reason I'm needing to lose a couple pounds here is going to Uncle Bob's with my kids' baseball team so much. Awesome spot, tremendous pizza. Burke and the crew there do a tremendous job, and I've been enjoyed getting to know them and looking forward to continuing this partnership through the season here with Uncle Bob's. So make plans now. 3:30. I know it's a weird opening game, but take off work early. We'll tell you more about the specific deals and all that coming and getting closer to the game. But obviously, a lot of reasons to be excited about this team in that first game, and why not come watch it with other fans and have some great food and drinks, and they're going to have the sound. And the cool thing is during the pregame show, if you get there early enough to get a seat reserved, maybe come 2:30, they're going to be pumping the pregame show live on their TVs there at Uncle Bob's. So I'll be live on the field at South Florida, and you'll be able to watch that there at Uncle Bob's on the TVs there. And so it's going to be a lot of fun, great atmosphere. And for all of you that question my internet, we are working on a Starlink, and we are most likely, I'm actually going to test one today, and we should have Starlink internet on the field at South Florida. And so we should have maybe the best signal we've ever had for a pregame show. And we've got a lot of great stuff for that. Jeremiah Dickey's going to join us. We'll show you the live warm-ups, all that kind of stuff. So we have big plans for the pregame show for the South Florida game, and hopefully you'll make plans to join us. That'll be about 2 hours prior to kickoff. So we'll start about 1:30 Mountain Time with that pregame show. And we'll keep that thing rolling for about 2 hours or hour and a half to get you set for kickoff. So make plans before the game, during the game at Uncle Bob's, after the game with Bronco Nation News on the BNN YouTube channel. And I know we're still 20 days away, but it's going to be here before you know it. And as you're starting to talk to your friends and make your plans for that first game, join us at Uncle Bob's Pizza. And as I said, if you're a paying subscriber and you kind of show us on your phone that you're a paying subscriber, we'll buy your first beer or something. Take care of you and appreciate you for coming out and hanging out. And they're going to raffle off some gift cards. They got all kinds of cool stuff they're planning to do. So looking forward to that. Scott mentioning J-Mo or someone else who said Marshall was out there looking like Megatron. Nice comparison. That was, I believe, the safeties coach. I want to say that was Tyler Stockton. They talked the same day, but I believe it was Tyler Stockton talking about and really anybody asked about Chris Marshall or anybody that stood out, they all point to Chris Marshall. They all point to how great of a camp he's having. Now it's just continuing to stack those days more and more and keeping that going here moving forward. So folks are wanting to know when they get to party with me. We'll have to figure that out. Maybe on the road, maybe the night before the Notre Dame game. We'll try to get a BNN happy hour event, maybe in South Bend the night before the Notre Dame game or something. We'll try to make that happen. And we do want to, try to look into some happy hour events at the James or here in town as well to get folks to hang out and meet the BNN crew and get some former players out there and Rid and Bedell and everybody. And that's part of what we want BNN to be, a community. And we're even talking about a tailgate. Maybe I know a lot of you guys have your own tailgates. That makes it a little tough, but we're talking about maybe doing a BNN tailgate before one of the home games or renting out a space over at DeChevreau Field or finding a spot for a private tailgate and, BNN subscribers and fans can come hang out there before a game. So we got a lot of ideas for that moving forward here and making this more of a community and a family and getting all of us together. And I think that's very smart. And we do that on the message boards at BroncoNationNews.com. So hopefully you're a paying subscriber already. I mentioned it earlier in the show, but I don't know how much longer that $5 deal is going to last. $5 a month right now if you sign up, BroncoNationNews.com. They're going to keep tiering the discount lower and lower until it's gone. So if you want to get a discount, 50% right now, $5 a month. You can get that at BroncoNationNews.com. Just click that join VIP button up in the corner, and a VIP membership is just $5. You get all kinds of tidbits and nuggets and news in the VIP message boards, and then a lot of our content is subscriber only. Mike Prater, great column from Mike Prater on Malik Sherrod and on Sire Gaines. If you want to read that column, you're going to have to be a VIP subscriber. As soon as this show ends, I'm going to post that for VIP subscribers on the site. So weekly columns from Mike Prater, all of our other analysis and things, and then the Ball Talk show, Johnny and Sanford. That show is subscriber only as well. So I'm trying to tell you now. So when it starts, I believe the 20th. A week from Tuesday, the 19th, will be the first show for the Riley and Ridge show. And then the next night, the 20th, that'll be the debut episode of Ball Talk with Sanford and Johnny. But Ball Talk is subscriber only this year. So if you're on the fence about a subscription, but you like Mike Sanford, you like some of the guests that he's going to bring on, you like John Mallory and their show they have and how they get into dissecting plays and players, and it's a can't miss show for a football fan. That's going to be Wednesday evenings at 8:00, but it is going to be available only to paying subscribers at BNN. And we're going to continue to make it worth it to want to subscribe. We give you morning shows like this free of charge here. I know all of you can't afford a subscription. I understand it. I get it. So we try to keep, some content free. That's why we have a free message board. A lot of those sites, to be honest, folks, have just one board, and it's only for paying subscribers. A lot of the 247 boards do not have a free board, but we wanted to keep a free board. We want to have spots for fans to continue to talk for free and interact. We want to keep these morning shows free of charge. Some of the content on the website we do keep free of charge as well. We try to make it, BNN a place that everybody can come and hang out, but also this is a business, and we got to, continue to travel to these road games and to continue to provide the coverage and pay guys like Nathan and Chris to come out to practice and give observations and things. We gotta have some income as well. So that's why we do have the VIP membership and a lot of stuff that goes behind the VIP, membership and being a paying subscriber. So that's why we do push that. And right now during fall camp with this 50% off special, we're pushing it more than we're going to push it moving forward. But $5 a month. Hope you'll jump in, help us out before the weekend, and jump on board as a subscriber. You can do that annual subscription. I think you just pay one time, $60 right now, and you don't have to worry about it till next year. $5 a month. Great deal. And again, Chris will have stuff going up. Nathan's got an article going up with some concerns. We're talking positives. What about negatives? What are we still concerned about 2 weeks through camp? We'll have a story from Nathan going up on that this afternoon. Mike Prater has a column that is going up this afternoon as well. As I mentioned, actually, his column will be up in 10 minutes. I'm going to put that thing up right now on Sire Gaines and Malik Sherrod. And so perfect time. Jump on in and subscribe. Again, the all-new 247 Sports has allowed us so many new technology and things and what we can do in terms of the message boards and just the quality of the website, and it's just such a better situation being with 247 than it was when we were doing our own website. And so all the recruiting coverage you get, all the extra stuff you get, there's just so much of a benefit. So if you're on the fence, perfect time to join. Those of you that have already joined, I selfishly think there's really no way you wouldn't be happy at this point. But if you are unhappy with something about your subscription or the deal or what we're doing at 247 and BNN, please email me, Rains@BroncoNationNews.com. Would love to hear the criticism. Would love to hear the constructive ways we can get better. I'm always trying to improve. And so if there's something that we could do that would be better, please let us know, and we'll try to get that done for you. But, multiple people at every practice, multiple people at every press conference, and we'll be the only outlet, the only independent outlet. I mean, I don't really count Bob and the radio side of things that go to every game. KTIK is part of their affiliation with the team, but the only independent outlet that travels to every home and road football and basketball game is Bronco Nation News. So help us out, subscribe. We'd love to have you. And we've been really excited about where this thing has gone and where it's going to continue to go here moving forward at Bronco Nation News. Now less than 3 weeks away from the season opener against South Florida. Melinda, always appreciate you. Thanks for the kind words. We'll see you in Vegas. Melinda heading down to sign up for the contest, as I know some other folks are. So again, reach out if you're interested. We can get you signed up, and you can either join us in Vegas and take advantage of all the deals, or just we can help sign you up for the contest as well. I know Brad Bedell's going down. I'll be going down. We got a whole crew, and I know Kerry Simons, a couple other folks reached out to me. They're going to go down there and sign up for the contest. So excited about having a whole big crew down there and having a fun couple days in Vegas before week 0. I'm excited about week 0. We are 2 weeks away, 2 weeks from tomorrow, Kansas and Fresno State. Week 0, there's some good games, my alma mater, and then I get to see what Fresno State looks like early in the season as well. So excited about that game, and that's 2 weeks from today. We'll be having our Spencer Danielson press conference of week 1 on a Saturday, again, getting ready for South Florida. With the game being on Thursday, where they kind of move everything up 2 days. And then later on Saturday, we'll have Kansas, Fresno State nationally televised in prime time to kick off the college football season at the new KU Stadium. So looking forward to that, seeing what Fresno State is. And honestly, we watch week 0 no matter who it is, right? We watch Hawaii. We'll watch, Middle Tennessee State. If there's Division I college football on, we'll watch it no matter what. But when you get a couple of Mountain West teams in there and some other intriguing teams, it'll be interesting. And that's just 2 weeks away, folks. 2 weeks from tomorrow. Cannot wait for that. So appreciate you guys. I'm going to get Mike Prater's column posted. There's no practice today. They are off after the scrimmage yesterday, but plenty of content still coming. We'll be hanging out in the message boards, answering your questions, chatting. And again, we'll have Mike Prater's column, and we'll have Nathan Carroll's article as well. So 2 new pieces going up for subscribers at BNN here in the next hour or so. And again, $5 a month if you want to subscribe right now, BroncoNationNews.com, and get daily coverage of Boise State athletics that you're not going to find anywhere else. So appreciate you guys. Have a great weekend. Tomorrow morning, they got a Saturday practice. The BNN team, we're working on a Saturday. We'll be out at practice tomorrow. We've got interviews with some players after practice tomorrow. We'll give our observations, our thoughts. We'll have all kinds of content. So a full work day tomorrow on a Saturday as we get you set and get 1 day closer to the season here. So no practice today, but the schedule is tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, they will have a normal scheduled morning practice. So no morning show, but we'll be out there at practice and give you all kinds of content and stuff from that. And then, as I said, the interviews and the analysis and all that coming after practice. And then a full week starting on Monday. I believe 4 days of interviews next week. I think Spencer's talking on Tuesday next week because next Thursday will be their scrimmage too. There's a ton of content coming, ton of coverage. Appreciate all you guys for your comments. Record viewership again today. We were well over 170 of you at one point watching live on YouTube. So alone, that's not counting, Twitter and Facebook and everywhere else. So appreciate all you guys for watching the show. Thanks for all your comments. And thank you for going to subscribe to BroncoNationNews.com. It means a lot to us, and we're excited to see where this thing can grow. And I've told you this every time, but I'm not just lining my pockets here. When you subscribe, it is helping, it's helping everybody. It's about adding to the product. It's about, doing all kinds of different things that we can do to try to help, add better cameras and add better stuff to make it even better. So appreciate you guys. And just know that when you subscribe and invest in us, we're going to return that investment and hire more people like Nathan, like Chris. We have more, photography things, and we're looking to hire some interns as well. I should throw that in there real quick on the way out. If you know someone that's a student at Boise State, we're looking for interns. I could use 3 unless the same person can do all of the same things, but I'm looking for a social media intern. I'm looking for someone in graphic design. Maybe that's the same person. And then I'm looking for somebody kind of behind the scenes that can help produce some of the broadcasts and can set up the cameras and the wires and the mics and everything for broadcasts and do a little more of the dirty work, so to speak, but it's still an important part, and you get to hang out and to still have some cool opportunities ahead of you. And so we're looking to make that some sort of a payment, whether it's a monthly stipend or hourly. I'm not sure yet, but again, the more we can get people signed up and more advertisers on board and more subscribers, the more folks we can continue to give opportunities for, like some students at Boise State moving forward here as well. So reach out if you know somebody that might be interested, or if you are a college student watching this at Boise State and you're interested, reach out. Would love to talk to you. I've already had a couple people reach out, and we have yet to kind of narrow down the pool yet, but would love to get as many people interested as possible and see if we can find a couple of great candidates to help us out at BNN moving forward here. So have a great rest of your Friday. Go subscribe. We got Mike Prater's column, Nathan Carroll's piece all coming up shortly. And then we'll see you out on the practice field tomorrow morning. Boise State, less than 3 weeks away from that season opener against South Florida. And you know where to go for the daily coverage that you crave as a Boise State fan. That is Bronco Nation News online in the message boards. We'll see you there, BroncoNationNews.com. Have a good day, everybody.
It's the fall kickoff sale at Lithia Ford of Boise. It's the best time to trade in and trade up to a new Ford truck or SUV with the room to haul your payload or playload. Visit Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust rowpaint.com to get that job done right.